Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson sends strong message amid return from injury. Russell Wilson's revenge campaign with his new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, took a bit of a detour after the 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback was held back by a calf injury during the team's preseason training camp. At this point, however, Wilson appears to have fully recovered from the knock, and he's now raring to go ahead of the new season. Wilson recently joined his new teammates in practice after an injury spell that cost him the first part of training camp. The 35-year-old has indicated that he's now healthy and that he's delighted to finally be back on the field. "I'm feeling great," said Wilson, via Teresa Varley of the team's official website. "Just to be fully in practice and involved and doing everything. I've been involved in doing all the drills and everything for the past 7-8 days, however many days it has been. But to be fully in there with the team drills, everything else, it feels great." Wilson will not be suiting on Friday when the Steelers take on the Houston Texans in a preseason contest. He has been diligently working his way back, though, as he looks to get a couple of reps under him before the regular season begins. Either way, though, the one-time Super Bowl champion QB is adamant that he will be ready once it's go time. "I always want to play," said Wilson. "Any time you get the strap on the pads, it's a blessing. Whether it's preseason or if it's regular season, obviously which matters a lot more, or in the postseason, which is even more important. Just be out there with your teammates and everything else. The good thing is I get to take everything in and just learn and be in that stadium for the first time. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing to be in Acrisure Stadium wearing the black and gold." At the end of the day, it will be in the hands of head coach Mike Tomlin. For his part, Wilson has extended his full trust and confidence in his new coach as he looks to get things going with his new team as soon as he possibly can. "I'm prepared to play. It's whatever coach decides," said Wilson. "He's the boss man. He gets to make the decisions on that, but I'll be ready to go. There's been several where I haven't played, so it's nothing new. I've been fortunate to play 200 games or something like that, so I know what it looks like. I know the speed of it. More than anything else, you go against each other every day, but when you get to play another team, a different jersey, it's just more exciting. I'm looking forward to our football team this season and where we can go." Steelers Mike Tomlin reveals plan for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields versus Texans. Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin addressed the media ahead of the preseason opener against the Houston Texans, and he was forthcoming about his quarterback plan. "There's been some guys that have dealt with minor training camp injuries and things of that nature that have limited them some. They won't participate in the game as well." Talking about some established guys, Tomlin noted during his August 7th press conference. He named quarterback Russell Wilson, safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and linebacker Patrick Queen in that group, while also relaying earlier that guard Isaac Seumalo, defensive lineman Cameron Hayward, and edge rushers T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith will not play either. "Those 7 guys I don't have any intentions of utilizing in the game," Tomlin reiterated. As for second-string quarterback Justin Fields, who's been the talk of training camp so far, Tomlin confirmed that the former first-round talent will start with the first-team offense in place of Wilson. "I'm probably going to give that quote-unquote first unit, with him included in it a couple of series, versus the Texans," he said. "I think Fields just comes to compete every day. He's got an awesome competitive spirit. We've got a competitive environment, and it seems like he's enjoying it. He's doing a really good job of acclimating himself to it and his teammates, and letting his talent show." To be clear, Tomlin did emphasize that the initial depth chart he released is accurate at quarterback, meaning Wilson is still the starter at this time. However, he added that it very much is a competition between the two. "Everything that we do is an audition, not only for Fields, but for others," Tomlin stated. When asked if he is concerned at all about Wilson's lack of reps with the first-team offense, the Steelers HC simply responded, "I'm not." Tomlin kicked off his press conference by explaining what he would like to see from his players throughout the first preseason game. "I'm really more concerned about how we perform in some fundamental things as opposed to strategy and schematics," the veteran head coach voiced. "I think it's important that we handle pre-snap football at an acceptable level on both sides. Cleanliness in terms of penalties. Fluid shifts and motions offensively. Adjustments and communications appropriately on defense, things of that nature. We can't be a group that's highly penalized," Tomlin emphasized. "Want to set a nice high floor in terms of some of those things." Tomlin also noted that he'd like the Steelers to put our conditioning on display and make routine plays routinely. "Those are the points of emphasis that could determine the final roster spots when all is said and done. Not the spectacular, but the unspectacular that contributes to wins and losses in this league. Obviously things aren't weighted the same," Tomlin told reporters candidly. "The in-stadium opportunity that's waiting on us Friday is a big one, for the players trying to make the roster, so we're excited about that. That goes for Fields as well as every rookie and bubble candidate attempting to secure a role on the initial 53. Steelers close to Brandon Aiyuk deal?" The biggest news of the NFL continues as the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to negotiate a trade that would send wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk east. The storyline is all over the place, and not every report seems to be accurate. That being said, there's plenty of optimism that it's going to happen, and it sounds as if the final details are close to being worked out. Maybe? Sources close to the Steelers have told Steelers Now that the team is confident that they have the framework in place to land Aiyuk after pursuing the 26-year-old since the free agency period back in March, Derek Bell of Steelers Now writes. "We're inching our way there. If you're asking me how this thing is eventually going to end, I believe it is going to end with Brandon Aiyuk traded to the Steelers, but we're not there yet until we're there," NFL Network's Mike Garafolo said about the situation. "I can't tell you for sure that that's the way it's gonna go because this thing has taken a couple of turns to get to this point. We'll see if we're out of the turns and we can finally get across the finish line." "I would agree with you," NFL Network's Ian Rappaport added. "It does seem like the eventual outcome, not current outcome, but the eventual outcome is Brandon Aiyuk playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the 49ers moving on for some draft picks, which is fascinating from the Steelers' standpoint. This one is dragging itself out, but the potential for something to happen and happen soon is there. The bigger questions is, what will the trade package look like? And are the reports of adding a starting player such as James Daniels true? There are a lot of questions to answer and plenty of reports to sift through. Luckily, all Steelers talk took the time to do so, as we try to create some sanity in a chaotic time for Steelers fans. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.